All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome to episode 22 of our Tassi Farms Dairy Empire gameplay series. I'm the Ultra Farmer, and in today's episode, we've got a pile of messes to clean up. We have a big issue on the farm that I will get to that has been causing, it was just a big screw up over the last few months that caused a ton of headache, but I've got a plan to sort it all out. I'll take you through all of that. We got a whole bunch of cheese to sell. We got almost $1 million worth of cheese that we got to go get rid of and take to the store. And then we got to make some big changes and some big decisions when it comes to the farm and what we're going to do moving forward. So it's going to be a big episode. We've got a ton of stuff to get to, so let's get right into it and let's go start figuring out this problem. Okay, so first things, let's talk about what went wrong and what I had to do. As you can see beside us to the left, this is where all our bales used to be stored. And as you can see, there are absolutely no bales stored there. What happened was, I don't really understand why, but with the new update that came out, something with our baler was bugged. That Lizard Pro bale that we used to use that was awesome, would make those big 185 centimeter bales, it bugged out and it kept crashing this map, and I have no idea what was going on. I finally figured it out because I could get onto the map and I could do a few things, but when I would switch over to my John Deere tractor, which was connected to the baler, the game would freeze and it would crash. And I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I thought the tractor was bugged. But then I started to realize that all of the bales that we had created with that baler were gone. They had disappeared, and it said that they were still in the storage, but when I tried to get them out, it wouldn't work. So, long story short, we lost all of those bales. All the bales that we have saved up over the last couple years of baling are completely gone. So what I had to do is I got rid of that baler, I sold it, and then I bought a new square baler. And we'll kind of get to that. It's kind of sitting, if you can just see it past the barns over there, it's sitting over there. We'll go over in a second and take a look at it. It's a big square baler. It was about 160 grand. I got about 60 grand for our baler that we sold off, but yeah, down about 100 grand from that. And we were out all those bales. So what I had to do was buy bales throughout the summer just to fill the barn so that the animals could be fed and they didn't starve, which costed a bunch of money. And I filled the barn, and now we've got to cut more grass. So our big wheat field that we had done wheat in, I rented a planter, like a big one, so that I could get it planted quickly, but I replanted grass out there, which I had to lease the planter, so it didn't really cost that much money. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, just because it would have been such a nightmare to do with our little guy. When I planted last time, I had to rent another, whatever, blah blah blah. I've got those fields. All our fields are planted in grass, and they're ready to be cut and harvested, and we can bale it with hay, which is good. We're good to go, but yeah, we lost all those bales. So everything that we had saved up for, we lost, which really sucks because it's coming into winter, and I don't know if we're going to have enough bales to feed everything, even off those fields. I don't really know. So, long story long, I had to get a new baler, planted all those fields in grass. We got to rebale everything, and it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Now, I'm not too worried about it because if we have to buy a bunch more bales, it's not that big a deal because we have a pile of cheese to sell off, like a whole bunch. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of cheese to sell off, and we still got about $500,000, so it's not that big a deal. It's just super annoying that that baler jammed out and we lost all those bales. But I feel like that's like farming a little bit. Sometimes things happen, and maybe the hayloft burns down and you lose all your hay. That's farming, I think. So we just got to adapt and move forward. Now, I'm pretty stoked on this new baler because I haven't got to test it all out yet, but there is now AI baling. What this new baler I got, actually, let's just go take a look at it. If we come into our garage here, where is it? Balers, square balers. So this is the baler that we got. It'll do up to 240 centimeter square bales, which is fine. 195 horse to pull it. So we won't be able to pull it with the John Deere tractor. We're going to have to use the new ACGO or our OG, was it Dietzfar tractor. Yeah, 140 grand. Yeah, it's like 160 brand new, but AI worker support. Allegedly, we're going to be able to bale with AI workers. Now, I haven't tested that yet. We're going to kind of do it together, so that way if it's a complete fumble, at least we did it together. But yes, allegedly we're going to have AI bale workers, which could be pretty incredible. I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some baling, but that big field is like a bit much. But I also, I don't know. I don't want to be cynical, but I don't know how much hope I have for this AI work stuff. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be good. We won't. Let's not. Let's not knock it till it's done. But that's what happened. It was a bit of a gong show, and I was super bummed that we lost all those bales. But oh well, it is what it is. Now, what I kind of want to do next is go sell off all of the. I want to kind of get all the cheese sold off, and then what I want to do. Actually, you know what? Let's just jump out real quick here. Oh, let's look in here. Okay, yeah, we got about 9,000 liters left of bales in here. That was what I had left over from what I bought. This barn is completely full. It's completely full, and I'm thinking we're gonna have to go through and sell off a bunch of the animals. Like these guys right here, like there's 52 of them. I really want to get this barn under control, but what I kind of want to do, okay, well, let's just do one thing at a time here. Let's get the cheese and stuff sold off. So what we're gonna have to do is kind of play leapfrog with the trucks, like we were doing last time. Actually, that being said, let's hook onto this and maybe just pull this out of the way so the trucks can go around a little bit better here. Maybe I'll just park this right over here by the slurry tanker, just so that's out of the way. Let's shut down this tractor, and we'll run over to our big truck, get it fired up, and we'll pull around and we'll start. Actually, let's just get this thing fired up. Jump on in. Get it. Oh, let's get her running. She hasn't ran in a bit. We'll let that sit and idle, and what we're going to do is we're going to buy another truck so that we have two trucks, which is going to help just for moving this cheese and stuff around. And I kind of want to have another one around here, mainly just for fun, but they're not that much money, so that's why I don't feel too bad about leasing it, or I don't even think it's worth to lease it. Like, it's 45 grand. I was thinking maybe we get something like this. This is a mod, but it's another 45 grand. And, we can get it. We could put the big engine in it. It'll cost us 80, but why not? And we can just leave that all the same. Interior, yeah, we'll leave the interior black. Why not? What about front glass? Let's get this off. Can I take this straight off? Yeah, we don't need none of that. The brand, yeah, we can leave that black. Material styles, black grill, yeah, sure. Glass, yeah, let's get her tinted right out, why not? Main color, like, should we do it kind of like the other? Oh yeah, I think we do it just kind of like the other one, why not? Secondary was this beige, right? Can we do... There was visors. Yeah, we'll do a visor for sure. So the fuel tank... Yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad. What else we got? The visor is going to be the dark. Yep. And stickers red. Fenders... Did we put fenders on this thing? Cabin, visor, exhaust. We'll leave all that the same. Fenders. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Oh, yeah, we'll do those ones for sure. But I think they're going to need to be... Yeah, this truck kind of looks hilarious. The rims. What about black rims? Yeah, that'll match the grill and the tint. There we go. Sticker. I don't even know what this is. I don't see no sticker on it. Okay, let's buy this unit. Right there, perfect. Had to pay a little delivery fee, but no worries. Okay, let's hook onto these trailers, because like I said, we're gonna have to play leapfrog. We're gonna have to kind of load one trailer up and then send it on its way off to the store to kind of get offloaded, and then while it's heading down, we'll get another one loaded up and all that jazz. Another reason I kind of wanted one of these trucks is apparently there's some auto loading bale trailers, like big bale trailers, which we might be able to use for the fields. Oh yeah, look at this fleet we got going on here. Spin this unit around. Okay. I think Z should open up the side. And then what you do is you pull up, and all you got to do really is once these back doors open, if you use this new game mode, once these back doors open, all I do is I push R, and it'll start filling on the side down by your speedometer, and it'll do 1,000 liters at a time, or like a pallet at a time. And you got to keep pushing R over and over again, which is like a little bit annoying, but it's not as annoying as loading it with a forklift, I can promise you that. Also, like, I don't understand why the other trailers... Does anyone else get this, like, where the other trailers, when you start loading pallets in, it's like the pallets start vibrating and move around, and then they just, like, even if you make nice, neat piles, you'll, like, come back and it's just a mess? Like, does that happen to anybody else or just me? I had a system where when I would put pallets in like that, like, to keep it from doing it, I would just put a pallet in and then put a strap on it right away. And I found that worked, but even I was loading trailer on the Hutan Pantai gameplay series, which is done now, but it was still just a nightmare, and I didn't really understand what was going on, but okay, I don't really need that open anymore. Okay, though, we're going to just be going back and forth here. Now, I time-lapsed this last time of going back and forth. I think what I'm going to do this time, because it's a bit monotonous kind of doing this going back and forth, I'll just kind of go and get all this cheese sold off, and I'll probably bring you guys in around like the last load, when the last load is kind of being loaded up here like this, and then we'll head down to the store and we'll check the final tally of all this cheese. So yeah, okay, I'll bring you back once we got just about all of it sold off. All right, just pulling out here with the final load of cheese. Try not to run into this tree there. Okay, not bad though. I didn't really keep track of how many trips we took. I think it's about 6 or 7. I think. I mean, I guess I could figure it out with the math. Yeah, we can figure it out when it's all said and done, because we're getting about 113,000 bucks per trip, and this truck just flies. So we'll be down at the store real quick. Okay, yeah. We'll let her open up on the straight stretch here, but yeah, this truck just flies. Look at this thing. Just 70 mile an hour going to sell some cheese. We're going. Unreal. She's gonna be melted cheese by the time we get there. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad we bought this truck. This thing's pretty wild. Okay, let's get this last little bit sold. Now this one won't be 113,000 bucks because we don't actually got a full... Is this thing gonna start selling? There we go. Alright. Let's see. I mean, we're already over $1 million bucks, which is pretty good. So, kind of like I said before, even if we gotta buy some hay, it'll be fine, but we won't have to. We're gonna go start cutting and tedding grass right after this, and then I'm interested to test out this new AI baling. Like I said, we'll do it together to make sure there's nothing weird, or if it's really weird, yeah, we'll go through it together. But I'm pretty excited about it. AI baling. I mean, okay, 103,000 bucks. Let's spin around here while the curtain's closing up there, and let's go in and let's check our... No, I was in the right thing here. Finances. 794,000 bucks. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Almost 800 grand. Pretty good. Let me grab my calculator here. Now, I know the other loads were 113. I'm doing this wrong. One sec. Good lord. 7 trips. 7 trips, which is exactly what I thought. Okay, perfect. Well, let's rip on back up to the farm. And let's get mowing. I might buy some new mowers now. I'm kind of thinking I might buy one of those mowers that we can put on the front and the back. And we'll run it on that Dietzfar tractor. Jeez, I wonder how fast this thing can get going. Just Top load at 74. Is that what we're getting? Deadly. Yeah, I think I might buy a different set of mowers now, just because we got we got a ton of extra cash. That'll be a little bit wider than our other unit. And I don't think I'm going to sell our other unit, though. I think I'm going to keep those, because why not? You're not really going to get that much money for them. We'll probably get like 15 grand for them or something. And that way we can set 2 tractors to go out mowing. And yeah. So I think that'll be the plan. I'm just going to get everything kind of parked away here, and then we'll start hooking onto these... Start hooking onto the mowers. We can use that red tractor. Maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll hook that ACGO tractor onto a set of mowers right now. Let's pull this into our truck stop here. Let's jump in this tractor because I got it parked. Oh. Fire this guy up. And yeah, let's go connect onto our OG set of mowers, and we'll get started on... What field do we want to get started on? I guess we'll just get started on the small field, really. And then that way I can go over kind of to the medium-sized field after. Sucks that we lost all that hay, but we'll have a good... That other big field is so huge that we'll get our hay stock back up pretty quick. Am I going to be able to sneak through here? No. Let's go around here. And then we still got to deal with animals. That's something we're going to have to deal with, but I really want to get the hay situation figured out kind of before we do anything. Also, I'm like super curious to see what this AI baling is going to be all about. Like, I don't know. Again, I don't want to be too cynical, but just don't know how much high hopes I have for it. That's the new baler. Looks pretty good. We'll be using it real soon. And plus it's just a square baler. It's not like it's that fancy. I don't know how many liters we'll get out of a 240 centimeter square bale, though. It was nice that we had that other baler that was like a little bit... I guess it's kind of unrealistic, but the bales were just so big that it was nice for feeding the animals. Okay, let's park these guys right there. And let's run over... Where did I park? Where? I think it's over here. I parked all these tractors so I could just tab in back and forth. But what I want to do is I want to drop these. I got a front weight on this thing, and then we're going to go into the store. And we'll buy some more mowers so we can get started on that big field. Okay, so let's drop that weight off there. Let's... I think I know exactly which ones we're going to get. This is 200. This tractor is 230 horse. I know that. I would just like to get one of these big crone guys, but that's a little intense. What's this mod? 7 meters wide. That's not really... We're looking for... That's 220 and that's 110. I don't really know. That's 12. Yeah, if we had a bigger tractor we could get this thing. I mean, technically that probably... Is that supposed to go on the front? Probably. I don't know if that tractor will be enough to do both these. Well, let's try it. We're not really dealing with many hills, so it might work out better than we think, but if not, maybe we'll just go buy a new tractor. Yeah, if not, what we could always do is sell the John Deere tractor and get a bigger one. Because I have a few mods for some good ones that are like 260 horse, and they're not too terribly expensive. But this might work good. Like I said, this doesn't... it's not like we don't have many hills. That can usually affect horsepower if you got to deal with a bunch of hills. And then you've got the implements that are kind of, quote unquote, no pun intended, cutting it close, right? Um, but this might work out okay. Let's go see. We will know very, very quickly. The only thing, yeah, this field's massive. Either way, it's going to take a bit to mow this field. Let's just set a worker going on this, and then let's go in here and check real quick. What's it say? 13 mile an hour? Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah, well, same thing here. So 13 mile an hour this thing's supposed to go at. Same with these. So we'll see right now. It's going a little slow. Yeah, it's going a little slow. We might have to get another tractor. Okay, so let's just say we do that. Let's say we do get another tractor. I mean, I guess we could buy a pretty big tractor. Let's go look at large tractors and just see what we got going down here. Or what do I got for mods installed? Yeah, because to put the big engine in it, it would be pretty expensive. It's still like 200 grand. This doesn't have a front PTO, plus it's a bit ridiculous to mow with. Okay. We don't necessarily need a large tractor because you can get 300 horse. Like this is 261 horse. It's 90 grand. I was kind of thinking either get this one or we can get something like this. And again, you can put the big engine in it, and it's 260 horse. What's the difference in this one? 230. Well, that wouldn't really do it. That's what that other tractor is right now. The question is will 260 get us where we need to go? I bet it would. Bet it would. Front PTO, main color. Reverse driving. Well, yeah, you want to drive backwards. 104 grand. Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'll see. We still got a lot of work to do. Like, this thing's going pretty quick. Oh, yeah, but that one's going way faster. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just get rid of the John Deere tractor. Actually, you know what? You get 20 grand for it. Let's just keep it. We might as well just keep it because really, we don't really need that extra 20 grand, but this one's 97,000. It's 200. Oh, yeah, so it's 142 with the big engine in it. Okay, so let's get this. Let's get this main color. We'll make it blue. There. It's pretty pimp looking, right? We want, like, does reverse driving mean it doesn't go in reverse? Am I getting that correct? Where did I see that? GPS beacon, wheel weights, reverse driving. Yes. 112. Let's just buy it. Let's just buy it. And let's go hook onto that tractor and let's go see what's up. Or we'll go hook onto those mowers and see what's shaking down. Because if we can get it mowing a little faster, that'd be better. Yeah, we'll just keep that John Deere tractor. It can sit around. It can sit around and just do chores. It can sit hooked to the milk tank, for all we care, really. But when we're cutting, if we're gonna be doing this big field and grass again, which I think we will because we got enough straw. Well, no, we baled all that straw. That's right. Yeah, losing the hayloft really kind of screwed everything up, not gonna lie. That's too bad. Okay, we gotta catch this guy. We gotta catch this guy. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. But, oh well. We can always... We can always just buy straw bales if we need to for, like, the TMR and stuff like that for the time being. And then once we get ahead on. Once we get ahead on hay and stuff again, then we'll deal with it. Okay, let's bring this forward. Drop that guy off. Can't have too many tractors anyways, right? Hopefully this worked. I bet you it did. I bet you it did. This guy's coming along just nicely. Okay, let's just see here. Let's just make sure this goes at the working speed that we were hoping for, or we'll have to go sell this thing. I don't really know what's going on with this AI worker. I swear this field is like the Bermuda Field Triangle, where like the AI workers get more and more confused every time they try and work on it. Just like the last time when Buddy harvested this field and just started doing the up and downs first rather than the headlands, even when we set it to it. Like, what is going on here? There we go. We're doing it now, right? We're going to turn the corner now. Yes, there we go. Unbelievable. Yeah, this field's tricky. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like... I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like got a weird shape. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. There we go. She's cutting at max speed. Just the way we like it. Okay, perfect. Let's go get this tractor hooked to something else, whether it's the tedders or windrowers or whatever. Actually, you know what? Yeah, more that I think about it, having 4 tractors with all the stuff that we're going to have, especially when it comes time to this point of like cutting everything and getting all the bales done, it's going to be clutch. So whoop-de-doo. We made a lot of money with cheese, and we'll make a whole bunch. We got to sell a whole bunch of cattle, a whole bunch, which I kind of even forgot about. So we're gonna have, oh, we'll have so much extra money. It really won't even matter at this point. This guy's getting very close to being done his field. Okay, well, I'm just gonna kind of keep plugging away on this, and I'll just kind of keep bringing you back. I won't do any of the AI baling without you. Um, I'm just gonna kind of keep bringing you back as we progress through this harvest, and yeah, we'll be tedding and windrowing here soon. All right, we got all of the fields cut. This field to my left here has been tedded and windrowed, and I'm just heading down and I'm going to ted. I'm going to ted this big field. We got our John Deere tractor. I'm glad I didn't get rid of this thing. But the mower cut really good. It went super fast, or as fast as it could. I have windrowed all of this stuff, and you know, I figured what we could do real quick before I ted this field. I'm just gonna kind of get spun around here and in position. Is we'll go over. Let's go over and let's see what this AI baling's all about. Let's go see. I got this baler hooked up. Um, it's ready to go. I kind of just fooled around. I was catching a little bit of hay that was like on the outside of the field. You know how sometimes the tedder misses a little bit. And so let's see. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna see if this thing will just like what I'm imagining you have to do is open this, working with, and then change this. Man, like this isn't gonna work. My whole thought was, so okay, when you AI bale with course plate, like the windrowers that we use behind there, these are the windrowers that you use. Where are they? They have a 14-meter working width. So then what you do usually is you set your baler to a 14-meter working width within course play, and then when you hit start, it just follows the same path that the windrower did, right? And that's how you kind of like trick it into baling. So like this, oh my god. So this only has a 4.5-meter working width. That's the most that it'll say that it'll go. So like basically it would auto bale. Like if we hadn't windrowed this field and we just set it, like it would go over the whole field, and like I guess technically it would work, but I mean I mean, good lord, like that would take so long. Well, it almost seemed too good to be true, right? Like it definitely seemed too good to be true. So maybe in the future they'll fix that and they'll tweak it so that we can do something different. I mean, let's just test this baler out though. Let's test this baler out. Let's see, I wonder how big of a bale it'll make. What's that? 8,000? Is that 8,000 liters I think I seen? Let's go. Let's let it kick out a bale or two here and we'll see exactly what it does for us. I think it was 8,000 liters. Well, let's just pull up here. Get the old spinorama. So while I'm doing this, I'll kind of explain what I think I'm going to do. Is I think I'm going to do this small field and obviously this field that we're about to TED sitting there. I think I'm going to do that in hay, and then I'll do our other like medium-sized field. I'll do that in grass so that I can feed it into the like the TMR mixing unit. One thing that I kind of forgot about because I just was like preoccupied on the point that we lost all our hay and there was a bunch of straw bales in there, but like I have a bunch of straw in the hay loft that I forgot about just because, yeah, I don't know, I just brain farted there for a second. So not that big of a deal. We still got straw for bedding. If I can't, the one thing I didn't do, like when I loaded up this game, my plan was to kind of test a few things off camera and see like what was going on with straw within that barn. But I got kind of sidetracked when I was just going through all the issues with the game crashing and that baler that was just tweaking everything out. So I didn't really get to test anything with the barn yet to figure out what we're gonna do with straw to get manure, which is like it's just a minor thing, but I just figured I would tell you guys in case you were wondering about that from last episode. We were having some issues getting straw in that barn. Yeah, so I haven't really had a chance to look at that just yet, but it's not that big of a deal. We got so many options to get it sorted, and more than anything, I just want to kind of get that barn toned down with some of the animals, get some of the cattle sold off. Now that we're pretty far ahead in terms of like money and equipment and the way the farm's going, the only thing that we're behind on right now is hay. But like, I mean, we'll get quite a bit of hay off these two fields. It'll get us through the winter and then into our first cut in the spring. So it's not really that big of a deal. But okay, well I'm gonna finish baling this field real quick, and then we'll ted our really big field together. So give me a sec. I'll get this field baled, and then yeah, we can ted that field together. right, not too bad. Not too bad. We tedded up a storm. So I still got this field baled, and we're going to go start baling that other field. I'm just going to go park these tedders right now because I still want to do the other field in grass. And then that way I can make silage, and even if I got to feed the animals silage a little bit too. But the main thing will be trying to make TMR. That'll be the main goal. So yeah, we'll do these two fields in hay, which will be quite a bit because that big field, I didn't check the potential yield that I'll get off it, but yeah, it'll be pretty good to do that in hay. That should get us stocked back up, and get our kind of our situation figured out. Now let's tab over. Let's take this. Let's take this tractor, and we're gonna take this unit over to the medium-sized field, and we'll get someone windrow in that, so that hopefully once I'm done baling this field, I mean it's gonna take a minute to bale this field. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll be able to get that field windrowed. I'll get this baled, which won't be. I don't know how long it'll take me. How long do you guys think it's gonna take me? Be honest. Be real. Be real. Longer than I think, right? Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. Okay, that's fine though. By the time I'm done baling it, this other field will obviously be windrowed, and then I can just go through and do this other field in grass. The only thing that kind of sucks, well, it doesn't kind of suck, it really sucks. I spent 160 grand on that baler, thinking it would AI bale, and it doesn't. And I could have probably just spent, like, we're going back in circles now, but I could have just bought, where's this one? 80 grand. Yeah, I literally could have spent half. I literally could have spent half. Instead, I bought this one. AI support, 164,000 with hitch. So I could connect a wrapper to this and wrap after. Ugh, that sucks. Oh well. Oh well. Whatever. We're not gonna worry about it. We're not gonna worry about it. We sold a whole bunch of cheese. Who cares? We're out like 60 grand. But yeah, I'm gonna get this. Let's get someone going on this, and then let's go start baling. Let's get start engine, ladies and gentlemen. Start your engines. Okay, let's fire this baler up, and off we go. Okay, how long is this gonna take? This one will go. We bale at 10 miles an hour. Geez, now that this baler, let's just go check. I'm probably not going to change it. This will do 10, 11. Yeah, none of these will go faster. 10 miles an hour, that's all we get. Okay, I'm not going to complain. I'm going to be done complaining about this baler. Maybe they'll fix something. Maybe they'll do like an update where you can adjust the working widths on these balers to like bigger sizes than 4.5 meters. Because if I can make it the same as the windrow, then we'll be baling up a storm. But okay, no worries. Now, like, we're gonna have a ton of bales off this field. Let's open our. Can I reset the counter? Where's my? Is it Control or Alt X? Okay, we'll reset it. It says we got 18. We got a couple that popped out there. No big deal. But we'll see how many bales we get off this field. It's gonna be a bunch though. It sucks that baler jammed out because we were able to make such big bales that it was like easy to pick up, and plus it was easy to throw in the barn. We only had to throw so many in the barn, which yeah, it was pretty nice when that was the way we could do things. Yeah, it sucks that baler jammed out on us. It really does, but oh well. Oh well. So I want to get this field baled. And then I obviously want to get our other grass field baled, and then all the bales picked off, put away, all that normal stuff. And then we got to go through the animals and start figuring out what we're going to do next. Now, I kind of have a plan of what I want to do with our barn. I'm thinking about making a new barn. I'm thinking about getting a new barn. Because that barn that we have holds 33,000 liters of food. And my suspicion, or what I'm thinking is that there's probably a cow barn that I can get that'll hold more food than that. And we can still make the pasture the same size as our field that we have right now. And we'll probably be able to hold roughly the same amount of cattle, maybe even more. I don't really know how it'll work with, say I get a bigger barn. It might kind of it might assume that we can just have more amounts of animals. So maybe I'll be able to get a new barn that holds more food and like the same pasture area, hopefully, depending on the barn that I can set down. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really looked at all the different ones that we can set down. But if we can like set down a newer barn that holds more food, maybe it'll like the game will think we can hold more animals and we can get around like 500-600 head of cattle. Because we haven't maxed out our production facilities yet. I think feeding the animals TMR is going to give them a little more milk production, I think. But that barn basically is maxing out with how much milk it can hold. So what I'm looking for is a barn that can hold more food and more milk. Maybe even more slurry too. That would actually be handy because we're still just getting slurry into that production facility. But if I can get that, a barn that holds more food and more milk, hopefully we could get more animals and, make more money. It's kind of the plan. But that's kind of on the back burner right now. I don't know if we'll get to that this episode. Kind of what I want to do is just do some looking and potentially some testing to see what's out there for barns. And then yeah, probably put down a new barn. And some barns that you can get have like automatic feeders, like automatic robot feeders. So we would just fill the barns with like hay, silage, straw, or potentially grass. No, it would be hay, silage, straw, and yeah, it'll just automatically make TMR and feed it to the animals. Then all we would have to do is put in our straw for bedding, and boom, we would have manure coming as well. And I do know there's a barn. I do know there's a barn where we could store bales in it as well. I think it'll hold up to 250 bales. And that's a robot feeding barn. So like that's kind of what sparked my interest was like if we could automatically feed those animals, like that would be pretty awesome. And yeah, hold more food, just everything. It would be really, really good for what we're trying to do moving forward. So that's kind of my thought process. Constantly planning, and then changing my mind about things. But that's okay. That's okay. Got to roll with the punches when you're farming. Okay, so I'm gonna get this field baled. I don't know how long it's going to take. Be honest. Put in a guess for how many bales you think it's gonna take before I'm done. Don't cheat ahead and look. Put a good guess in. What do you think? What do you think? I'll tell you what. We're at right now. We're at 16, but we actually had two more, so we're at like 18, almost 20 bales with the headlands. And then we got to do another round of headlands and then the up and downs. So, ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. Place your bets. Okay, I'll bring you guys back once we're done baling this field. We'll start picking up these bales and then go over and start working on that grass field. All right, folks, we're getting to the end of baling this field. Does anyone want to take one more guess before I spit these bales out of how many we got? Let's push Y. Let's kick these bales out. Now remember, is that going to drop? Yeah, that'll drop. Okay, let's fold this up. Actually, I guess it doesn't really matter. Set the cruise control. Try not to run into one. 84, but really it was 86 because we had a couple pop out that we didn't count before we reset it. So not too bad. 86 bales. 86 bales. Now, I'm going to take this baler down to our grass field. It should be pert near windrowed. If not already, it's done. I wasn't really watching to see if the notification popped up, but we'll head on over and we'll go see right now. And then I'll probably just leave this tractor and baler sitting there for if they're not done windrowing it, and maybe I'll hook on to that ACGO tractor and get it hooked to our bale trailer and start running around picking up some of these bales. Is kind of what I'm thinking. And I think since I overpaid 60 grand for a baler that does an AI bale, I think I'm going to stop charging myself that $500 to use the auto trailer. That's my payment for the next little bit since we overpaid about 60 grand for this baler. It's a cool looking baler though. The old SB 1290. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. It looks like this field's done. Looks like this field is done. Well, I might as well fire this baler up, and I'll just start going to town baling this right now. Yeah, okay, so this is swapping over to grass. Let's just make sure. I just want to make sure this first bale that kicks out is actually a grass bale. Sometimes when you got a little bit of, like, if you got like straw or hay in the chamber, no, that looks like a grass bale. Oh, looks like a grass bale all day. Sometimes if you've got a little bit left in the chamber, it'll kind of decide and it'll spit out either the bale that you were doing before or a new, whatever your new crop is or whatever the new windrow is. Let's jump out and take a look at this bale. Yeah, so it's a grass bale, 6,500 liters. Okay, 6,500 liters of grass. I probably should have reset the bale counter, but it's not that big a deal. I don't really care. We're at 107 altogether. No, we were at 102. I almost lied to you. 102. So whatever we get past that, we'll know. This one won't take that long. This field actually goes pretty quick. We were just spoiled with that other baler because it would go like 15 mile an hour, but that's all good. Get this field to get the grass pulled off this, and I'll put as much into our silage fermenter as we can. It's nice that that thing will take bales. And then once all this is done and like all the bales are picked up, then we'll go start looking at some barns. I'll probably have to test off camera. I'll set down a couple just to take a look at like the food and stuff. That's one thing I wish. Like there's stuff obviously with the game that I always wish like Giants would fix, or make like a little bit better. Am I gonna catch that area? Yeah, that's fine. We'll leave that little spot. But I really wish you got more information about production facilities and barns before you put them down. Like, I really wish that. Like, if we go into the cow barn right now, it'll tell us, like, how much slurry it can hold. It'll tell us how much food it can hold, how much milk and stuff. It'll give you, like, a little meter. And I wish you could see that before you put down a barn. Like, when you're in there looking and you're like, okay, I'm going to put down the grain mill. Well, how much grain can this thing hold, right? How much grain, how many cycles will it do each month? What are the amount, like, what is the denomination of, like, grain that you input and then the outcoming product, whether it's, like, flour or something like that. So if you put in 1,000 grain, do you get out, what, 500 flour? Like, what is, what are the recipes and all that stuff? Like, I wish it could tell you that before you put it down. I don't really understand why it doesn't. Like, it doesn't make sense that you just like have to hope and pray that it works out for you. It'd be nice to know like, oh yeah, this is a small, they have like small production facilities now that basically are useless unless you have like a really, really small farm, but they just don't do enough cycles per month, in my opinion, of course, unless there's been a change. But from what I saw when the game first came out, I set down a few and they were just like such a waste of time. You need like 30 of them to make it work. But I wish like you knew, okay, well, how much grain is this going to take in per month? Like if I have a field that produces, 50,000 liters per year, how many times can I harvest it before that thing is full? That's what I wish it knew. Okay, what I think, gonna get this tractor out of the way. This new tractor is pretty awesome. I like it a lot. It seems like it's pretty good. I'm just gonna pull this out of the way for right now. And then I'm going to keep going baling this field. Let's jump back into this tractor. This tractor's awesome. It's got 53 hours on it. We've really had this thing since the start. This is such a good tractor. Especially like early on in the farm. 80, 90 grand and you get a 230 horse tractor. This one's such an awesome, awesome unit. You can't put front attachers on it. That's the only drawback to this tractor, but it does have a front PTO. All in all, pretty good unit. Okay, well, I'm going to keep going. I'll keep working along, getting this field baled, and since it's windrowed, of course, I didn't know if it would be done by the time I finish baling that other field. But once we're done, I'll bring you back, and we'll hook onto our trailer, and we'll go start picking up some of these bales, clearing it off. I might do a couple loads of bales to clear it off, and then we'll set a tractor to start fertilizing these fields while we're kind of messing around with the cow barn. Alright, I'm just getting some of the pieces of equipment kind of cleaned up here a little bit. I'm kind of parking stuff around. I went and took a load of bales off our one field, off kind of like the small field, and then I started collecting a little bit off the bigger field. But I wanted to come do a couple things here. I think what I might do, it's always a little tricky backing this in. So let's see if we can do it first try here. You gotta kind of come up and you gotta kind of snake her like that. And then, gotta go like that. There we go. There we go. She's starting to go nicely. Yeah, chase it. Chase it. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. Probably like 8.5 out of 10. Maybe an 8. Yeah, we had to kind of correct a little bit there. So yeah, maybe an 8. Not too bad. I want to hook onto this. I want to hook onto this fertilizer spreader. I wonder if I can. Yeah, I can fill up a little bit from there. Perfect. Let's see if I can fill up while I'm passing by these guys. Am I close enough? Yes. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I just want to set a worker to start spreading some fertilizer on these fields while I'm pulling off the bales was kind of my plan here. So let's go over here and let's get a guy working on this field, and I'll jump back into our bale hauling trailer. There we go. So this thing will hold 24 of these bales at a time, which isn't too bad. Isn't too bad. And so we had like 80 some off this field. So we'll have to do a couple trips, but it's not the end of the world. Also, I was kind of thinking, I didn't like, I don't know what I was going to do with all that wheat that we harvested because I didn't really have a good plan for it, to be honest. And I don't really want to set down a production facility, but I was like, I wonder how much money we have in wheat. And we just kind of casually, if we come in here, we've got like 80 grand, 90 grand worth of wheat just sitting in that silo. So when does it say January? Okay, perfect. So right after December, yeah, in a couple months here, we'll either I'm thinking maybe we'll rent a trailer. Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud right now, but maybe we'll rent a trailer for that one of the semis can pull, and we'll do that. We'll fill it. Maybe that way we can just kind of do it in one shot or maybe two trips. I think if I get the standard, it's like the Load King trailer. Something tells me it holds 77,000 liters. Is that right? Or maybe it was 75. We'll check here. Once I get a full trailer full of bales, we'll check when I can kind of set the cruise control and we'll go in and see. But yeah, that means I would have to take roughly two trips, you know. Well, it would definitely two trips, but that's all it would take. And then we could go and sell off that wheat. That'll save us from putting down a production facility, and then I don't really know what we could do with that cash. Maybe we could buy. I don't know what we could do with that cash. We don't really need any more tractors. We definitely don't need any more tractors. We. I guess we don't really need like a new seeder or anything since this grass just regrows. I don't know what I'm gonna do when it comes to like harvest again. If we should do another round of hay or maybe do some grass. I don't really know. Let's set the cruise here and let's just see if I come into 51. This one's 75. Okay, so it'd be like two trips with that guy. That's not too bad. We could rent that for a little bit. What does it cost? Bet you it's not even that much. Yeah, 5,600 bucks. That's not too bad, but still, we get like 82,000 out of it after paying for our rental. So that wouldn't be too bad. And then we only got to make two trips down there. Okay, yeah, thinking out loud, but that's probably what we'll do. And we can put that money towards either another production facility for the milk, because we can put down a factory that will give us some different dairy products. I think we can do like cream cheese or sour cream, and we got a bunch of room like right off to our left here that we can put another production facility in. So that's something I kind of want to do in the future as well. But the main thing after this, get all this hay pulled off, and the next thing that we're going to be doing is dealing with this barn and dealing with the animals. Whether that's getting a new one, or we're definitely going to be selling off some animals just to kind of tone things down a little bit. But I definitely want to get a new barn, maybe one that self feeds. But that'll probably have to end up happening next episode because we're kind of running out of time in this episode. I think this is probably just going to be a good moment to end this episode, and we'll tackle all that at the beginning of our next episode. Yeah, at the beginning of our next episode, we'll go through. We'll somehow figure out a new barn area or a new barn. It won't be a new area. We'll put it in the same spot. We'll get a new barn. We'll get all that set down, and we'll take we'll fill it with TMR because hopefully some of that unit will have worked through, and we can put I'll put some hay and whatever silage has fermented into the TMR mixer so we can fill our new barn with TMR. We'll take that wheat off to sell it just for some extra cash. I don't know how much a new barn's going to cost, but it could be pretty expensive. There's like some barns in there that are like 700 grand, so I don't really know what we'll end up buying. I don't want to spend that much really if we don't have to, but if we have to, it is what it is. we still got a bunch of milk and stuff to constantly be moving around and all that jazz. But yeah, thanks so much for watching this episode. I appreciate it like always. Everyone who hits that like, leaves me a comment, and everyone who's hit that sub button, just know how much I appreciate it. I really, really do. Shout out to everybody who's been following along on these series. I know there's some people that have been really sticking with it, and yeah, just thanks so much. I can't really thank you guys enough. The channel's growing really good, which I'm really surprised on, to be honest. I never really knew what to expect when I started the channel, and I just wanted to make these videos just because I thought it was fun. It's fun to kind of make these gameplay series and these challenges, and I figured, why not film it? And I actually don't mind making the tutorials, as well. I don't know everything about this game. I'll never really claim to because the game's it's pretty in depth. Like it'd be hard to know everything, but if I helped you, if you learned any tips or tricks through watching these series, I hope it has helped. And again, thank you to everybody who has subbed. We're getting close to 500 subs. We're kind of pushing our way to try and get to 500. That's been a goal. It's obviously a nice little milestone. The big one would be to get to 1,000. That's what I've always really kind of wanted, was if I could get to 1,000 subs, I always thought that would be super cool. So if you're so inclined to help us get to that goal, smash the button. If not, no worries. I'm still going to make these series. And I got some ideas for some fun new series to do, kind of once this one finishes. And same with the Hard Times Hog Farm. So thanks again. I'll quit yapping. Blah, blah, blah. Appreciate you guys very much, and I will see you on the next episode. This is Ultra Farmer, and I am out. Thanks.